it's Edward and welcome to Chateau Crowley. So this is a recipe I got from my new work colleague Joel Tucker, but this is his recipe and it's actually really tasty, it's worth trying. So I've decided to use pork shoulder. It's a very undervalued piece of meat and it's actually quite economical to buy. In fact, it's very economical to buy, it's cheap. It doesn't mean it's not full of flavour though, but I chose this because I know that with a long slow braise in the oven, cooked really slow and really low, it's going to fall apart and be really tasty. We tie the meat up because this is an exceptionally tender cut of meat. It takes long, slow cooking, so if we didn't tie it, the meat would fall apart and you wouldn't be able to carve it at the end. I've oiled the meat in order for the salt and pepper to stick to the outside of it. We're going to brown the meat in a pan in a second to actually seal all of the sides of the meat in. This will actually keep all the juices inside of it once the meat has gone in the oven to braise. I'm going to put a little bit of oil into our pan, just a little bit, a couple of tablespoons or so, and then into that pan we're going to throw some onions, your garlic, carrots and celery. I'm going to give that a really good mix round, just want to get the heat on it and start the cooking process off. So we're not actually cooking these, all we're doing is just giving them a quick sear in the pan before we put them into our glass pan just here. In it goes. There we go. It's going to act like a trivet for the meat, so the meat won't sit on the bottom of the pan and get stuck and get burnt too much or too overcoloured. So all those juices are going to go through and we're going to get a nice thick sauce at the end of it as well. I have our meat here that I've tied up. We're going to chuck this in fat side first. Hear that sizzle? Woo-wee! Big sizzle. Really important stage this. Take your time over it. Don't rush this stage of browning the meat on all sides. It's really important. It gives it colour, it gives it flavour, and it seals in all those juices as well. It's all been sealed. There's no raw bits, there's colour on there. Put that onto this trivet of vegetables. There we go, just like that. So then I'm going to put our spices that we have here that we measured out earlier, our sage, our rosemary, our thyme, our fennel. I'm going to put into that hot pan that we've had the meat in. Smell it. Not the camera, if you can smell it. You don't want that getting too hot, but we're going to deglaze this pan. And deglazing means getting all of the meat juices and all the goodies off at the bottom of this pan. So I'm going to pour the chicken stock in. Bring that up to a boil. All the goodies that are on the bottom, all of that, it's called a Maillard reaction. It's where all the fats and the sugars in meat or cheese or whatever make that brown crusty. So our stock is on the stove here cooking away a little bit. I just want to get it up to boiling temperature before I pour it over the meat. I'm then going to seal the meat with foil. The oven is already set to 350 degrees, it's preheated. And that pork is going to take about 3.5 hours to actually cook through. So the pork has been in for about 3.5 hours. And that's what we're going to be left with. So as you can see, it's so tender it's falling apart. So what we're going to do now is we're going to take pork out of here, and then this sauce is going to go into this pan at the back of me, and we're going to put some butter into there as well and make it even more luxurious as it is. So this thick gloop that I had in here, that was part of the juice that was left from the braise. I didn't quite put all of the juices in, so that I've reduced down to some paste. Strain all those vegetables out until we've got this juice left. This is all goodness in here. This is all going to help thicken up our gravy. In this pan now we have all of the vegetables, well, a lot of the pulp vegetables that we cooked, pork juices and the chicken stocks. What I'm going to do is now I'm going to gently warm this up and then start adding butter to it. It's called monteing sauce. So to monte a sauce means to add butter to it, and this is going to actually bring all of this together. All of this oil on the top is going to come together once I start whisking them. It tastes really luxurious, really good. It needs a bit more salt and more pepper though, I think. Just let it reduce down a little bit first, because the further you reduce it, the more the salt content will go up. Reduce it first, then check the seasoning, and then we can serve it. So basically I'm just taking the string off of this pork now, just making sure that we've got it right. This is just, I mean, it is just so tender, it's falling away. Absolutely falling away. That is how tender that meat is. It's 3.5 hours braising.
Don't eat it all.
It's just so good. If you spend the effort or take the time to braise this pork for a few hours, you're in for an absolute treat. It's really, really delicious. Yeah. Thank you for joining us today at Chateau Crowley. I'm going to get all the washing up done now because there's a ton of it left to do. But you can follow us on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram. And don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel as well. ChateauCrowley.com for all of our recipes. We're there for you. We are there for you.